We just released a brand new pack that's unlike anything that we've ever created or anything that I've ever seen on the market. I'm so excited to introduce you to our new drum sample library, Mellow. Mellow is a drum sample library of sounds that we specifically captured and created for genres like indie, soft rock, pop, alternative, and even country. You'll find drum and percussion samples inspired by artists such as Role Model, Joe, Olivia Dean, Bleachers, The Marias, Jeremy Zucker, Royal Otis, Ruel, Clairo, Laundry Day, and many, many more. Whether you're looking for really forward, dry, punchy, warm drum samples, or really big, roomy, springy, wide drum samples, or really anything in between, we have you covered inside of Mellow. Mellow is a library consisting of over 1,600 samples, including 421 one-shots, an entire selection of live kits that were captured and mixed by Steven Rutherford of the band Joan, and a whole percussion section where everything is multi-sampled, and we have tons of different processed options for you as well in there. When you download Mellow, you will see this kind of split up into those three sections. The first one that I want to talk about is the live sampled kit pieces. These are kit pieces that were recorded and mixed by Steven Rutherford of the band Joan. We have 9 kicks, 14 snares, 3 sets of toms, 3 hi-hats, 3 crashes, 3 cymbals, and some extra swells. And what's really important about this section is that everything is velocity sensitive. Every single kit piece has multiple dynamics. Every kit piece has dry and roomy versions. The snares have different articulations. The best way for me to show you how flexible this is to actually dive in. So let's take a look at some of the live sampled kit pieces that Steven sent over for Mellow. So here we have our live drums. As you can see, we sort it by kit style. So cymbals, floor toms, kicks, rack toms, and snares. But as you go in, you'll find subfolders that have each individual kit piece. So for example, if I look at kicks, you have biter, bloof, Frankie, hot, ILYF, oof, open, porno, and space. So if I click on this, we have 4 different velocities. Let me show you what I mean. And then if we go into something like bloof, same thing. And a lot of the kicks will even have dry and roomy versions. So we have hot. And if you want to take it a step farther, when you go into the snares, we'll have things like articulation. So we have dry. Then we have little rolls, doubles, soft doubles, drags, soft drags, knocks, and then we have roomy versions. And we did this because we wanted to give you tons of options where as you go through this pack, if you want to program really lifelike samples, you can do that. If we go into something like the hi-hats, you'll see that there's a ton of options in here as well. So let's say that we go to the 16th, we have choke, edge, edge roomy, foot, open, splash, and tip. So just to show you an example, here is a strong velocity of choke. Here is a strong velocity of edge. Here's a soft velocity of edge. Here is a foot. Here is open. And then we have splashes. We have swells. And then the tip hits are really nice too. Here's a soft velocity and then a hard velocity. Steven made sure to give you enough options so as you go in and program drums, you can get something that feels really dynamic, really lifelike, and it's going to be like that for every single kit piece. Cymbals, floor toms, kicks, rack toms, and snares. And everything is labeled and organized accordingly. In addition to all of the kit pieces that Steven handled, I also did a ton of one-shots myself, so you will find a one-shots folder where we have kicks, snares, snaps, claps, hi-hats, crashes, rides. These are samples that we've recorded and processed ourselves or that we've created completely from scratch with drum synthesis. And what's really important to note about the one-shots folder is that yes, you might find a couple samples here and there that are processed versions of things that Steven sent over. However, almost all of the samples in this are completely different than that live sample kit, so you're going to be finding stuff that you won't find in any other section of this pack. Let me show you a few examples of what you'll find in the one-shots folder. If we go into our one-shots folder, you'll see that we also have our categorization here. So we have claps, crashes, cymbal swells, hi-hats, kicks, rides, rims and knocks, snaps, snares, and toms. But these, obviously, they're one-shots, so you're not going to find folders of all of the different velocities and articulations. But just to hear a few kicks, I'm just going to start from the top. Tons of different options in here. We have really dry, punchy stuff. We have really roomy, springy stuff. It's great. We have a lot of acoustic drum pieces. We also sampled a couple vintage drum synthesizers. They kind of fit into this genre as well. Let's go check out some of the snares just so you can kind of hear. I'm just going to go to random ones. So as you can hear, you do get a wide variety of sounds, but they all feel really cohesive to that kind of mellow branding and vibe that we had for the pack. We wanted this to feel mellow. We wanted it to feel like a big velvety couch in a room with a lot of nice kind of like muted earth tones. I really, really like all of these. The one shots are super, super fire just for dragging and dropping. If we go to some of the snaps, these are live snaps recorded in my studio. Tons of different options there. So with the one shots, you have a lot of different palettes that you can kind of dive into. If that wasn't enough, we also have an entire percussion folder where we multi-sampled a bunch of percussion elements in my studio. We have things like tambourines, shakers, claves, triangles, wood blocks, stick hits, and so much more. And in each of these different percussion elements, you are gonna find dynamic hits for each one. You are gonna find articulations for each one. You will also find mono and stereo versions for each one, as well as versions processed dry with spring reverb and with tape saturation. And we also included a bunch of loops for tambourines and shakers. You'll find loops that span from 65 BPM all the way up to 125 BPM. We have halftime and double time loops in each of those tempos, and you'll also find mono and stereo versions of those, also processed dry with spring reverb and with tape saturation. Let me give you a really quick example just so you can see what I'm talking about. The last folder that we'll take a look at is the percussion. I kind of just want to show you all of the different options. So let's just go to clave. You'll see inside of this you have dry process, spring processed, and tape processed. Inside of this you'll have mono bounces, stereo, and then soft and hard hits. We have high and low claves. If you go to the spring, just to show you how different it sounds, we ran these through an echo fix just to kind of give you that springy, nice, lush reverb. If we go to tape, getting some of that tape saturation kind of rolling off the top end. And you'll find that with all of the different varieties that we have in this percussion section. For example, the spring on the triangle is really, really fun. So tons of different articulations, velocities, and processing styles on those. If we go to something like these shakers or the tambourines, you'll see where we have some actual loops. So if we go into here, same thing, dry, spring, and processed, then you will find your BPM folder. So let's say we want to go to 75 BPM, and let's say that we want to look at a halftime mono. Let's go to a stereo playing a quarter. We have straight with no accent, tons of different options in there, but let's say that you like those, but you want them to be tape. We have the same options. Ran through a tape machine just to kind of give you some of that grit, some of that top end roll off. I actually love the sound of things like shakers and tambourines being ran through tape. Kind of cuts off some of that really, really bright top end, so I'm glad that we have those in the pack for you as well. I know that this pack can seem like a lot to dive into, which is exactly why we wanted to give you over 30 minutes of exclusive video content where you can see how to navigate this pack, how everything is organized, how we kind of intended it to be used, and then we also have videos showing you how you can program drums with things like the one-shots or with the live sampled kit pieces. So if you want exclusive videos on drum production with this pack, they will be inside that as well. One thing to note about Mellow is that you won't find these sounds anywhere else on the internet. These are things that we actually sampled and created ourselves. They're things that we processed a ton. These are not going to be sounds that you can go get on any other platform. These are not things that we've just mixed from other recycled drum libraries. We have a ton of gear that we used on this, so if you're a gear nerd like me, I'm going to scroll it all right here. If you want to go ahead and pause it to see everything that we used to make Mellow, you can check it out right now. But now that I've talked about the pack a lot, what I want to do is show you a couple different examples of Mellow, and just keep in mind that this is barely scratching the surface of what this pack has. There are thousands of samples that you can use in here. So if you want to hear more examples, we will have stuff on the website as well, but let's hear some examples. If you want to hear more examples of Mellow, if you want to read more information about it, or if you want to pick it up for yourself, it is available exclusively at makepopmusic.com. This pack will normally be $50, including all of the one-shots, all of the multi-sampled kit pieces, all of the percussion elements, and the 30 minutes of video content. Before we wrap up, I do just want to say a massive thank you to everybody who made this pack possible. Steven, we wouldn't have been able to do it without you. Thank you so much for capturing amazing kit pieces. Our longtime collaborator with sound design and sample creation, Crustacean, also helped in and pitched in a bunch of samples. I did a ton of the samples and processing myself. We also had Molly Buck do our artwork for this pack, and this pack would not have been possible without my wife, my business partner, and the project manager of all Make Pop Music products, Miranda. So if you were involved in the creation of Mellow, if you were one of the beta testers, we cannot say thank you enough. We love you. We appreciate you. But again, if you want to check it out, if you want to see more information, go over to makepopmusic.com. Supporting us over there is the best way to make sure that we can come back and create content on this channel. We can make other packs that you guys want to see in the future. If you have any questions about Mellow, feel free to reach out at support@makepopmusic.com. I will personally respond to your email as soon as possible. But other than that, I'll see you soon. Much love. Peace.